Hello everybody, it's Mr. Second Amendment, and today I want to talk to you about co-witnessing, and I'll talk about my preferred method of co-witnessing. And first we'll make sure that it's safe, there's nothing in the chamber, and it is on safe, we're good to go. Okay, so we're just going to go over what is co-witnessing, and this is talking about iron sights in conjunction with an optic, a no power optic, where there is no zoom, there's no variable zoom, it is what it is. And I'm looking at EOTech, a red dot, aim point, those kinds of optics where there's no it's a holographic or red dot optic and there's no zoom at all. And how do we use that in conjunction with iron sights? Some people will choose to run no iron sights and just the optic. That's one way to do it. I always like a backup plan. You'll see on this rifle I have a front sight base, the standard F-Mark carbine front sight base, and I have an LMT rear sight base. And I like this a lot because it's more like an M16. It's what I'm used to, it's what I like, except it doesn't have a carry handle, which is nice, and it can come off if I need it to. Okay, so a lot of people ask, how are you going to run iron sights with something like an EOTech, a holographic sight? How does that work? What plays into that? And basically I'm utilizing a lower thirds co-witness. So to describe what that is, first we'll start with an absolute co-witness. Okay, so an absolute co-witness is when we look down our iron sights and we have our red dot or holographic optic is exactly zeroed with our iron sights on it's the same sight line. And of course the iron sights are zeroed, and so is the EOTech. So when you look down the iron sights, the EOTech or holographic or aim point is dead on as well. And it should look something like this. This is my high-speed paint graphics here. But this is what you would see. You'd look down the EOTech, your holographic would be turned on, and you'd see the iron sights exactly with the EOTech. Okay, so that's what we call an absolute co-witness. Okay, I look down and absolutely my iron sights are dead on with my EOTech. Okay, but what I employ and what I like better, because I think with the absolute co-witness it is kind of nice, but it's also bad, at least for me, because there's just so much going on. There's front sight, rear sight, holographic, it's all happening all at once in the same place. To me it's just very busy. There seems to be a lot going on with that. I don't prefer that. So what I actually like and I employ is what's called a lower thirds co-witness. Okay, so what that is you'll notice on my EOTech it's on a riser. Okay, and that's a Yankee Hill riser for an EOTech. It's a very solid, good unit there. What it basically did, I'm going to bring back that high-speed graphic. Okay, so right now I've got absolute co-witness. What it does is it raises that EOTech, and now this is what we're looking at. Okay, so now you'll notice that the iron sights are at the bottom of the TV screen, at the very bottom of my visible range within the optic. And you'll see that the EOTech is still dead on with the sights. I've just raised up the EOTech a little bit. Okay, now that's my backup plan, because how I'm supposed to with the lower thirds co-witness, what my real sight picture looks like is this. Okay, so I'm not scrunched down, I'm not looking through the iron sights. The iron sights are there and they're at the bottom of the screen, the TV screen if I need it. But what I'm really looking at when I'm shooting the whole time is going to be a reticle that is dead on with my iron sights. It's zeroed with my fixed iron sights. But I'm not having all that busyness, I'm not having that huge obscured sight picture that I would with an absolute co-witness, because the EOTech is raised up and I have my reticle is above the front sight base, and it makes for a lot more clear sight picture. Now if I need to, let's say I need to treat this as it is, which is a luxury. It's a well-made unit, but stuff fails, batteries die, things happen, and in the event that thing happens, without any tools or removing anything or quick releasing anything, or instantly I'm shooting, boom, the light goes out for whatever reason. All I have to do is scrunch down a little bit. I see my iron sights and I can shoot through the dead glass with iron sights and everything's fine. Okay, so that's the whole idea of an absolute co-witness, is that's all I have to do. I just sit there and I just bang away with it basically works together is the whole idea. Both sights, everything, it all works together. So it's just a different way of doing the same thing. Absolute co-witness, it's got advantages, disadvantages. Like I said, I don't like it because it's just too busy. There's just too much going on. I like the lower thirds co-witness because I'm a huge fan of fixed iron sights, especially good ones, and I want to run that with a no power optic like a holographic red dot without having all this stuff obscuring my vision. Another way to do it that I haven't described is people will do an absolute co-witness with a rear flip sight. Okay, so once they get their iron zeroed, they get their EOTech zeroed, everything is together, they'll put down the rear sight, and all of a sudden now they just have a front sight base in their view, and they're just using the reticle, much like you would with a lower thirds CoWitness during the whole time. The only problem is because the EOTech is so low and it's mounted to the upper receiver, it's going to be, you're going to have that reticle towards the top of the TV screen rather than in the middle. So, you know, there's different ways. The only thing I can really say to you is keep an open mind, and I would definitely try different methods in different ways. See what works best for you, see what you like. And hopefully this has helped clarify the whole concept of co-witnessing and shown you that there are different options out there for you. Okay, so probably forgot some things, but just comment for questions. Thanks for watching.